You are now listening to the Cut and Caliber Podcast.
Episode 2.
Are you going to do that every time?
Every time.
Every time. Episode 2. It's like like turn the page.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what it reminds me of, but it's an audiobook. That's what it is.
Yeah, an audiobook.
Yeah.
Yep.
So today we kind of want to you got to know us in the first episode.
Yep.
We asked each other some silly Q&A stuff, got to know each other better.
Yeah, and then I feel like the people listening got to know us on a real personal level.
Almost too personal.
Yeah.
Some of those messages I got were... Whew.
Wait, what? I didn't get it. Nobody messaged me.
About the Walt Disney thing?
No, I got some messages. All right, I'm cool. But yeah, no. So you got to know us on the first podcast. This podcast, we wanted to kind of share with you what we did to get to this point, and then what we're doing as far as after this podcast. I'm gonna have some lunch probably. But yeah, so I mean, the history. Let's go back to 2009.
2009.
Was it 2009?
Somewhere around there.
Maybe we should have.
That's almost 10 years. That's almost 10 years ago.
A little bit better. Yeah, I think it was 2009. 2009 is when I joined Thera. So I moved back to Alaska after being in Memphis. Joined a band called Thera. Kyle was in a band called Witness the End. Our bands played together, and that's how we met.
That's how we met. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we met, and then we would play shows every once in a while. But then
it was in Kenai, I think, at a show. Yeah. When we played on top of these trailers, truck trailers they set up.
I don't know if that might have been before my time. I think so.
I think that was one of. I can't say for sure
because I think
that was the first time I met Stephanie and Ronnie.
Okay, so my first year was like every show was in Anchorage, basically.
Okay.
And it was like every weekend we were playing a show. It was like almost we would play for a while. We would play at Coots like almost every Saturday week. Or every Sunday. We would play Sundays a lot too.
Did you know that me and Mason went way back too?
No, I didn't.
We used to play in pop punk bands at UAA.
I knew you played in pop punk. Oh yeah, I guess he played in Too Late. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And we played at the not the commissary. Well, we did that too.
Yeah.
We played it.
Kyle was in this
dark days.
Kyle was in this awesome band called Men.
Musically excited nerds.
It's so stupid, but I love it. I love it.
We had guys that had shirts that said "I love men," and we thought that was genius marketing.
That is actually pretty good marketing.
Yep.
Oh man, you guys were before your time. Let's just
we were too early.
Yeah,
we were too early.
Well, okay, so we met in the music business up in Alaska, the local music scene. But then around 2010, my band decided to move to Seattle and make that big push to get signed. Yep. And then you joined us.
Yeah, my band was kind of on. I didn't really see where it was going to be going from then on, so I was like, you know what? I like you guys. I'll come down and be a manager.
Yeah.
In quotes.
No, and we basically were just like, we would give Kyle the stuff that we didn't want to do. So if we didn't want to talk to the promoter for a show, we'd be like, Kyle, make sure we go get paid. Or Kyle, you go talk to the sound guy. Kyle, you do this. So, and Kyle always
keep the groupies away from us.
There's so many.
That was my easiest job.
Oh, it's sad but true.
Yeah.
Sad
so we all moved down to Puyallup.
Puyallup, I think, was probably the worst idea, but also it was the best idea.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Imagine, picture this: I would probably say like pretty emo kids. I mean, we were wearing band tees. I was wearing headbands. I had a giant beard. Mason had dreads.
Yeah.
Ronnie and Stephanie both had long hair. Ish. I'm just saying, like, pretty emo kids. And what we decided to move into was one house altogether.
Yep.
Because we were like, oh man, we'll always be together.
This will be Pleasantville.
Well, yeah. Well, that's exactly. I think that's what our downfall was, because we moved to suburban area right next to like a super swanky golf course.
Yeah.
It was like literally 100 yards from our house was this golf course.
Yep, husband, wife, 2 kids, 1 dog kind of families
Yeah.
all over the place, and then 6 kids
Yeah.
move into 1 house.
Yeah, with a van and a trailer, and everybody had their own car. So we always were like parking on the streets.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
driveway was always full.
I'm sure the homeowners were probably like, oh, God, we got to get these guys out of here.
Dude, I don't know how we even
If
got
they
that
show up in their
house.
underwear on the golf course again, we're going to complain.
Little side note, we did do that. I don't think, well, I mean, we don't need to go into full detail. But, you know, one of the nights we got a little too tipsy and we decided to go hit some balls on the golf course. And, you know, someone might have streaked a little bit.
And we played skins. It's a golf
That's
game.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, so we moved down, then we went on tour. And actually, you know, even before we went on tour, I was running a blog. And I was really getting big into marketing, and Gary Vaynerchuk was up and coming at that time. And we both drew the short straws to room together in the same bedroom.
Yeah, in a nice small room, and both of us were so cheap. You actually had a real mattress on the ground.
My parents bought it for me. Yeah.
And I had an air mattress that had a hole in it. And I would have to blow it up every single night.
Every morning, Kyle would just wake up like
flat on the ground.
Yeah, flat on the ground with like a little bit of cushion on the sides.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. That was living in luxury.
Yeah, and then your desk was like 6
made
boxes
out of boxes. Yep. All my moving boxes I made
plywood or something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Creativity is what it was.
But I think that's what really set us on our journey together. Because
I tried to start a blog too, and you had to walk me through everything, setting up a website, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff.
Since we were like the only 2 people in the house that watched like scary movies, we would like literally have guy night in our room where no one else was invited. That sounded.
Yeah, we had guy night in our room.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
People get what I'm talking about. But we would literally watch a scary movie. Because like none of us had jobs at that time.
I did.
Well, yeah, you did, but
it was me and Ronnie and Stephanie had jobs.
and then I don't know. I worked at Target for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Thank you, parents, for supporting me during that time.
Through those dark days.
Oh man, that was I was broke.
Money didn't exist back then. We were just
we didn't care though. I think you have to go through that. You know, you have to go through that point where you're just like, I'm just going to pursue my dreams. I'm going to pursue them, and I'm just going to go no matter what.
Well, everybody always tells you have your whole money or your whole life to make money,
right?
And then you're like, start to believe that, and you're like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, I'll just put this off a couple of years,
right?
And then,
but honestly, I think that was literally one of the best decisions we made as a group, just because like we have those memories and we have those experiences, and we've learned from that, I think, and we got to see a lot of the U.S. Because of it, and not many people have. And I mean, I feel like there's people. I mean, now I'm just kind of going on a little tangent. There's people that have been in a band for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and they've never gone on tour. We were able to do that and kind of had those experiences of living with 5 other people in a van. So that was fun.
It was a good time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of fostered into us always talking about business marketing. Steven handled a lot of the design and, all of the design and everything for
which I look at now and it's horrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, you always look back on your stuff and you're like, God, if only I knew what I know now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just like, that's the reason I got into design. Everybody's like always like, oh, how did you get into this? Is because of the band, because we didn't want to pay someone to do it. No one else knew how to do it. But I had the programs. I just decided to do it.
I'll just do it myself. So yeah, we started talking about let's start a business together, and we had a ton of stupid ideas for probably a couple years.
Oh yeah,
and it wasn't until probably 2014. It was my guess. I just moved back. I'd gotten out of a business dealing with friends.
Yep. And 2014 was the year it was like, it was 2014.
Yeah. And so we started sitting down at Middleway Cafe pretty regularly and having these discussions about what is something we can do. Is it a website that we can drive people to? Is it a product? Is it a podcast? What is something that we reasonably can get started? And so then we stumbled across the idea of Cut and Caliber walking around Tidal Wave bookstore.
Yep.
And that's where we came up with the name, actually, is walking through the gun section. We had the first word, cut, and then we walked through a gun book section and saw the word caliber.
Yeah,
and we're like,
caliber. That
cut,
sounds
cut
cool.
and caliber.
And we kind of were like, well, it could be like cut from a different cloth and the high caliber style.
Yeah, we were.
So,
oh
man,
we were ahead of our time.
Yeah. But I think, so actually, not really, but the first kind of inclination of Cut and Caliber was a website dedicated to becoming successful, being an entrepreneur,
morning routines, all that stuff, that
getting healthy,
yeah,
whatever, getting out there and seizing the day and hustling and whatnot. And we were inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk and
Tim Ferriss and all the guys that have really abused that over the last couple of years.
Well, as they should, because people are still consuming their content like crazy.
I don't think I would. Yeah, I no longer want to do exactly that because I've seen it so much over the last couple of years.
I think that's a good point. But we wanted to be like that in the beginning. So Cut and Caliber, technically, so this is actually our second pivot. So the first idea and what we kind of launched Cut and Caliber as, and I was in Hawaii at the time, you were in Alaska. And
exciting.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out. I travel. But it was like a website that we wrote articles for, like how to be successful. And we really started to bring it back and think about, well, we're not successful
ourselves.
Yeah, like we don't have any street cred.
Yeah, the money, we got our whole life to make money.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about being successful.
And I think because we were looking at people who literally had no street cred and they were doing it and they looked like they were succeeding doing it. And so we were like, oh, it'll just come to us. That's what we thought. But it didn't really stick.
And now you see actually a bunch of these articles about people that are teaching this without actually doing it themselves. They make money off of telling people how to be successful. And that's what actually makes their money in selling products when they've never done it themselves. And so it's we didn't want to really fall into that. So we got really obsessed with being able to have a physical product.
Yeah.
And therefore we stumbled into something that we cared about, which was style and grooming. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we kind of got into the grooming products itself. Mm-hmm. Now, I think we had a really good run with that.
Well, I mean, we're still doing it. I think people are confused. I mean, this is kind of 2 weeks after we launched this podcast, but people are confused because we said Cut and Caliber's dead. Well, that was April Fool's, but now we're still going to be selling products. We're still going to be making products.
Right.
We're just not going to be doing it to the capacity that we were, really. Now, this might change over time, but we just really find that our passions lie in creating content. So like videos and podcasts and, going out on little adventures for, just for Instagram stories or Instagram. We really see a powerful tool in that. And so we really wanted to put, our time into that. But we will still be making the products because people have gotten used to them and we don't want to take that away from them.
Yeah, we built actually a really good, solid network of wholesalers. And these people around the state, they've done such a good job supporting us that we're still going to allow them to carry our products and sell them to the public. And we just won't be the actual direct-to-consumer anymore. Yeah. So they're still going to be out there. We're still going to be keeping guys looking good.
Yeah.
And but we're also going to take our idea and do more of what we want to do with the content creation.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, I mean, now we got that out of the way and answered some questions for people. What was it about entrepreneurship that you really wanted to jump into? Like, why did you start wanting to, do your own blog or start your own business? I mean, because I think you got the bug. I mean, I got the blog bug for sure.
Sure.
And then I wanted to make money on the road, so that's why I looked into marketing. But I think you got the bug a lot bigger than I did, and then you kind of transferred it over to me. So what was it that really struck you about the entrepreneurship lifestyle that you wanted to really pursue?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it and I feel like the word entrepreneurship has this really kind of like negative connotation in a way, because it can be really cheesy if you allow it to be. But what I look at is I've worked corporate jobs my whole life, and the whole idea of working at least 40 hours a week for somebody and only making a salary is really not attractive to me. And that is me personally. A lot of people live their whole lives and can be very happy with that.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, and this does not mean to sound cocky or anything like that, but there's a lot of people that are in managerial positions that I don't think deserve to be.
Oh, big time.
And so you're answering.
Even, I'll go as far as saying owners.
Sure. And so what I have a problem with is working for people like that, where I possibly may even know more, yet they make all the decisions for me, make 3 to 4 times as much as I do.
Yep.
And so instead of complaining about that, like a lot of people will do their whole life, you have to do something about that. And the only way is to start something yourself.
Exactly. And I think that's the scariest thing. And that's why people don't do it, because you have to start it yourself. And then it kind of goes into like, the excuses you make. You can be wanting to start something, but you're always like procrastinating, or what will people think? And you just got to get over that. I think that was one of the biggest hurdles for me in my journey, is to so technically I started the blog back in 2009, 2010.
Right.
And I really was big into like the blog thing, and I really wanted to succeed with that, and then that's what kind of got me learning about content creation. But yeah, I think that kind of fueled my trajectory to entrepreneurship, because I got to see the idea of like starting a business kind of thing. How do I make money from all these people visiting my blog? Blog.
Now it's a vlog.
Yeah, now I get confused a little bit. So and I think we've definitely gone back and forth on ideas and everything, and I think we've definitely grown together. I don't know if I've ever told you this too. When we were recording in Atlanta.
Oh, right.
And you came over to visit us.
I was working in I was in Georgia.
Politics. You were doing a politic thing. Yep. Yeah. You had that James Dean, slick back haircut, literally, and I didn't. Right. I had a mustache at that time. I'm serious. Like,
I remember.
I had a mustache. For
we went to Cheesecake
one of my
Factory.
best buds' weddings. Oh yeah,
that's where we went.
Just
for
talking
dinner.
about that yesterday, actually, with Mason. Because
he still owes you.
No, but his theory, and this is for anybody that's frugal. His what he does is he orders something really small while we're just like all starving, and just order these giant entrees. And then once he's finished, he just waits patiently for everybody to finish, and then he just takes up the leftovers from everybody. That's smart. It's very frugal.
Yeah.
And I remember Cheesecake Factory, he did that. Yeah. But you had a James Dean haircut, slick back, and you looked good. The next day, I went and got shaved at Great Clips. Got shaved, and I was like, "Give me the slick back look.
Yeah, give me a side part or whatever."
I think we've definitely inspired each other throughout the years.
Yeah,
and we're even sitting at this table right now, both with glasses and both with hoodies
and baseball caps,
and not just any baseball caps, but like Nike. Nike hats. So
son of a
we
studio headphones.
We always do this.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think that's what's a lot of people say. Don't go into business with your friends. I've experienced that. That can definitely have negative effects on your friendship. I think it also can be positive as well.
Well, I mean, it hasn't been
super stressful.
No, but it also hasn't been like super, happy all the time.
No,
I mean, there's definitely been some moments where.
Well, and that's the thing is,
you wanted to throttle me. I mean, even in that picture.
Oh yeah,
even in our podcast artwork.
I remember one of the first conversations we had about Cut and Caliber is I had just gotten out of this business, and I said that if we don't feel like this is going to work or anything like that, we need to be honest with each other, because just like kind of like a relationship, communication is key in partnerships, because neither of us can read minds. And
what?
So yeah, I know,
man, this whole time
you just found out. But I think we've had this conversation several times where we talk about, it's very cocky for us to be saying that we want to be entrepreneurs and make our own living and like not expect that to be the most difficult thing we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are just like, I want to start a business and be a millionaire and make a living. And it's like, yeah, but you're also going to spend a lot of nights probably crying. Because you either don't have money, nothing's working, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so we've had this talk where we need to realize we're asking for something that maybe 5% of the U.S. is capable of doing, and we think we could be in that 5%. So it's going to take.
It's not overnight. I mean, no. Look at us. We're look at us. It's like that's stupid.
In our Nike.
But I mean, like 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been really pursuing the idea of the entrepreneur lifestyle. I think even in the last 2 years,
I would say 2 years,
really serious about it.
Yeah.
And so, it's been a journey. And I guess to wrap this up, I just want to say, like, if anybody's really, wanting to start a business or whatever, just feel free to hit us up, and just kind of run ideas by us. We love to talk to people about, just the whole lifestyle. Like, we love talking about podcasts and we love talking
finding
about
a network and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're kind of big advocates for helping each other out too.
And we're still learning. I mean, that's the big part is, like we said, the last 2 years, we've kind of given this a good run, and we're just now pivoting to something that we're like, hey, this is what I want to spend my time doing. So in no means do we have it even remotely figured out.
We're going from technically grooming to like media.
Yeah.
Basically. So, I mean, we're making that like huge pivot, and that's pivot is a weird, it's like one of those like buzzwords that people say, but I mean, it is. That's what we're doing. We were
changing the course,
and we are going completely a different direction. So yeah, we are not experts at this at all. But I mean, we still love to talk about it. So if you have any ideas you want to run by us, or just want to say hi, you can hit me up on Instagram at Stephen Cornfield,
and I'll be over at Kyle Redding.
And together you can hit us up at Cutting Caliber. But please, if you like this, let us know what you think. Comment on our Facebook, comment on our Instagrams.
Subscribe, more importantly.
Well, yeah, I was
all
getting
across
there.
I
was getting there. You were
gonna
jump in the gun.
Subscribe, comment.
Reviews, whatever. Because we're trying to build this thing up. We just started, so it's still very, very new. But we would love to, I mean, going back to what we said, like, you can't really have excuses about what people think of you. You can't worry about what people judge, but we would still love to hear what you think.
Yeah, we want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, be honest.
Either you enjoy it and we're doing a good job, or you hate it and we need to make it better.
Right.
So we're okay with either.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of the Cutting Caliber podcast. I'm Steven.
And I'm Kyle.
And we'll see you next Monday.
All right.